Ever feel like your blood sugar is on a theme park ride up after breakfast, down by mid-morning, and suddenly you're tired, cranky, and wondering what you did wrong? Those sharp after-meal spikes matter because, over time, frequent highs can stress blood vessels and raise the risk of complications affecting the heart, kidneys, eyes, and nerves. And yes, they can nudge A1C upward, even when your fasting number looks fine. Quick safety note: for educational purposes only, not medical advice. If you use insulin or blood sugar lowering medication, talk to your doctor before changing your diet. Now for the tasty part: what if one simple swap could help smooth the curve, keep you fuller, and make snacks feel less like a trapped nut butters when they're unsweetened and portioned? Bring protein, fiber, and healthy fats that slow how quickly carbs hit your bloodstream. Today we'll break down 3 options that are popular, practical, and diabetes-friendly, plus exactly how to use them without turning a spoonful into a sugar and calorie avalanche. Ready? And no, you don't need a PhD in snackology, just a label check and a tablespoon and a pairing plan. Let's spread smarter. 1. Almond butter. Unsweetened almond butter isn't magic, but it can be a very useful seatbelt for your blood sugar when you use it the right way. For many people with diabetes or insulin resistance, the biggest troublemakers aren't just sugar foods, it's the speed that carbs hit the bloodstream. Almond butter helps slow that down, mostly because it brings a trio that blood sugar usually appreciates: protein, fiber, and healthy fats. Here's the simple mechanism when you add protein and fat to a snack or meal. Your stomach typically empties more slowly. That means glucose tends to enter your blood more gradually, so you're less likely to see a sharp post-meal spike. Fiber helps too, especially when almond butter is paired with other high-fiber foods because it can slow digestion and support a steadier rise. Think gentle hill, not roller coaster drop. Why almond butter stands out compared with many sweet spreads? Almond butter is naturally low in added sugar if you pick the right jar. It also tends to provide a meaningful amount of protein per serving and is rich in monounsaturated fats, which are the same heart-friendlier fats found in olive oil. That matters because people with diabetes often need to manage not only glucose, but also cardiovascular risk. Now let's talk micronutrients without turning this into a chemistry exam. Almonds are well known for vitamin E, an antioxidant nutrient that supports cell health. Almonds also provide magnesium, which plays a role in glucose metabolism and insulin signaling. Does that mean almond butter will lower your A1C all by itself? Not necessarily, but in a balanced eating pattern. Nutrients like these can support overall metabolic health. The more accurate way to say it is almond butter can be a useful tool inside a bigger routine that includes protein, fiber, movement, sleep, and medication guidance when needed. Quick myth buster because the internet is loud. Myth: almond butter has carbs, so it must spike blood sugar? Reality: it has some carbs, but also protein, fat, and fiber, so the net effect is often gentler than refined carb snacks. The bigger issue is usually what you eat it with. Almond butter on celery. Very different from almond butter on a frosted donut. Yes, we're looking at you, donut. How to use almond butter without turning it into a calorie landslide. A practical portion for many adults is about 1 tablespoon, roughly 16 grams as a starting point. Some people do well with up to 2 tablespoons, but it depends on your calorie needs, weight goals, and how your blood sugar responds. Almond butter is energy dense, so it's easy to accidentally eat 3 tablespoons while standing at the counter, also known as the spoon situation. Pair it smart, the biggest win. High fiber plus protein pairings: 0.1 TBSP almond butter plus Greek yogurt plus cinnamon, 0.1 TBSP almond butter plus berries fresh or frozen, 0.1 TBSP almond butter plus apple slices, watch portion. Breakfast upgrade: you stir around 1 TBSP into oatmeal and add chia seeds for extra fiber. Savory option, often underrated: whisk almond butter with lemon, garlic, and water to make a quick sauce for roasted vegetables or salmon. Label check 10 seconds. Choose unsweetened almond butter when possible. Ideally, the ingredient list is short: almonds and maybe salt. Be cautious with jars that add sugar, syrups, candy flavors, or lots of added oils. Mini 2-hour pairing test optional, but powerful if you monitor glucose fingerstick or CGM. Try this on 2 different days. Day 1, 1 TBSP almond butter with a high-fiber-based berries or yogurt. Day 2, 1 TBSP almond butter with a refined carb base like white toast. Compare how your glucose behaves at 1 hour and 2 hours after eating. You're not chasing perfection, you're learning your best combo. Caution's important and not scary. If you use insulin or blood sugar, lowering meds improving meals can sometimes lower glucose more than expected. Talk with your clinician before major diet changes, especially if you've had hypoglycemia. Kidney disease, some people need to watch minerals like potassium and phosphorus. Ask your care team what limits apply to you. Allergies, obviously. Avoid almond butter if you're allergic to tree nuts. Digestive comfort, large amounts can cause bloating or stomach upset in some people. Start small and see how you feel. Bottom line, almond butter is not a cure, and it's not a free pass, but used in a measured portion, paired with fiber-rich foods, and chosen without added sugars. It can be a steady, satisfying snack tool that helps many people keep post-meal glucose from acting like it drank 3 energy drinks. 2. Walnut butter, the omega-3 upgrade. Walnut butter is the rich, earthy cousin in the nut butter family, the one that shows up wearing a cardigan and quietly makes your snack look more responsible. And for many people with diabetes or insulin resistance, walnut butter can be a smart tool because it's built around a blood sugar-friendly trio: fat plus, a bit of protein, plus some fiber. Translation, it can help slow how fast carbs turn into glucose in your bloodstream, especially when you use it as a pairing instead of a standalone spoon dessert. Here's the simple mechanism. When a meal contains healthy fats and protein, digestion tends to slow down, and glucose usually enters the bloodstream more gradually. That doesn't mean your numbers will never rise. Food is still food, but it can mean fewer rocket launches after eating. Fiber adds another speed bump. It supports steadier digestion and helps many people feel full longer, which can reduce that "I need something sweet right now" moment at 9:47 p.m. We've all met 9:47 p.m. It's very persuasive. Now, what makes walnuts unique compared with other nuts is their omega-3 fat, specifically ALA, alpha-linolenic acid. ALA is linked with heart health, and heart health matters because diabetes and cardiovascular risk often travel together like an uninvited duo. In some studies, diets that include nuts, including walnuts, are associated with better lipid profiles and markers of cardiometabolic health. The key word is associated, because walnut butter isn't a medication and it won't cancel out a high sugar, low fiber eating pattern like a magic eraser. Think of it more like a stabilizer bar on a car. It helps, but you still need to steer. Quick pop quiz. Yes, there will be a quiz. If walnut butter helps blood sugar, should you eat it with A, white crackers because it's low GI? Right. B, fiber-rich foods like berries, plain Greek yogurt, or chia pudding. If you picked B, congratulations, you just earned a PhD in snack logic. The biggest benefit of walnut butter usually shows up when it's used to upgrade a snack or meal, add it to something higher fiber and lower added sugar, and you're more likely to get a smoother glucose curve. Let's keep the nutrition talk useful, not exhausting. Walnut butter provides unsaturated fats, including polyunsaturated fats, plus modest protein and some fiber. It also contains micronutrients like magnesium, which plays a role in insulin signaling and glucose metabolism, and plant compounds, polyphenols, that may support vascular health. Do these nutrients guarantee a lower A1C number? But they can support the bigger picture: better meal satisfaction, steadier digestion, and a heart health-friendly fat profile. 3 things that often matter for people managing diabetes long-term. How to eat walnut butter without accidentally eating 600 calories. Walnut butter is calorie-dense, which is great for staying full, and also great for oops, I ate half the jar. A practical starting portion for many adults is 1 tablespoon, about 16 grams. Some people do well with up to 2 tablespoons, depending on their calorie needs and blood sugar response. Smart pairing, simple and realistic. Plain Greek yogurt, plus cinnamon, plus cinnamon, 1 TBSP walnut butter creamy, satisfying, and your spoon feels fancy. Chia pudding, plus 1 TBSP walnut butter, plus a few berries, fiber on fiber like wearing a seatbelt, and also driving the speed limit. Oatmeal upgrade, stir 1 TBSP in, then add chia or ground flax for more fiber. Keep the oat portion reasonable. Oats are healthy, but they still count as carbs. Savory sauce, whisk walnut butter with lemon juice, garlic, and water to make a quick drizzle for roasted vegetables or chicken. This is how you make vegetables taste like they got a promotion. Label check the 10-second rule. Look for unsweetened walnut butter when possible. A short ingredient list is your friend walnuts and maybe salt. Be cautious with products that add sugar, syrups, candy flavors, or a lot of added oils. And if the jar says dessert-inspired triple chocolate walnut swirl, just know your blood sugar didn't ask for that plot twist. The bonus move, the 2-hour pairing test. If you monitor glucose fingerstick or CGM and your clinician says it's appropriate, try this experiment on 2 different days. Day 1, 1 TBSP walnut butter with a high-fiber base, yogurt, berries, chia. Day 2, 1 TBSP walnut butter with a refined carb base like white toast. Check how your glucose behaves at 1 hour and 2 hours after. You're not passing or failing, you're learning which pairing makes your body calmer. Your meter is basically a truth-telling friend who doesn't care about your feelings. Who should be careful? If you use insulin or blood sugar-lowering medication, improving meal composition can sometimes lower glucose more than expected. Don't change your diet aggressively without discussing it with your clinician, especially if you have a history of hypoglycemia. Kidney disease, some people need to monitor minerals like potassium and phosphorus. Ask your care team what limits apply to you. Allergies, avoid walnuts if you have a tree nut allergy. Digestive comfort, large portions can cause bloating or stomach upset. Start with 1 tablespoon and see how you feel. Bottom line, walnut butter shines as a heart-smart fat option, especially because of its omega-3 ALA, while also helping many people build a more satisfying, slower digesting snack. Use a measured portion, pair it with fiber, and let it support your routine instead of trying to be the routine. 3 peanut butter, the budget-friendly, high-protein option. Peanut butter is the most popular kid in the nut butter world, and for once, popularity can actually be helpful. It's widely available, usually more affordable than almond or walnut butter, and it brings a steady mix of protein, fiber, and unsaturated fats. That combo can make peanut butter a practical blood sugar support tool when it's used as a portioned add-on. Not a free-for-all snack sport. Here's the simple mechanism: protein and fat slow digestion, which often slows how quickly carbohydrates turn into glucose in your bloodstream. Fiber adds another speed limit sign for digestion. The result for many people is a more gradual rise after eating, especially compared with snacks that are mostly refined carbs. Not guaranteed, not identical for everyone, but it's a common pattern. And peanut butter can be especially useful for older adults because protein helps protect lean muscle over time. That matters because muscle is one of the main places your body stores and uses glucose. More muscle support, plus better meal balance, can make glucose management feel less like a daily argument with your pantry. Your pantry will still argue. It's stubborn, but you'll have better points. Quick myth buster. Myth: peanut butter is a diabetic superfood, so I can eat as much as I want. Reality: peanut butter is calorie dense. It can support stable meals, but more isn't always better, especially if weight management is part of your glucose plan. Think tool, not unlimited dessert. Why peanut butter works in real life. Peanut butter often works because it's easy to pair. You can add 1 measured spoonful to a snack and instantly improve the macronutrient balance. That's a fancy way of saying you're less likely to eat a carb by itself. Carbs alone can be like tossing dry kindling on a fire. Adding protein, sure, fat, fiber, is more like putting a lid on the pot. Things simmer instead of exploding. Peanut butter also contains micronutrients like magnesium and zinc, and small amounts of antioxidant compounds. These nutrients play roles in overall metabolic and immune function. But the biggest day-to-day advantage is still the practical one. It makes a snack more filling, which can reduce grazing and late-night sugar hunts. Yes, late-night sugar hunts is a real species. It lives near the freezer. The 10-second label test, do this once. Thank yourself later. When it comes to peanut butter, the jar matters. Look for no added sugar or unsweetened. Minimal ingredients, peanuts, and maybe salt. Avoid sugar, syrups, dessert flavors, and hydrogenated oils when possible. A lot of peanut butter products are basically candy wearing a peanut costume. Cute costume, not great for glucose. Portion, how much is enough? A helpful starting portion for many adults is 1 tablespoon, about 16 grams. Many people do fine with up to 2 tablespoons, depending on energy needs and glucose response, if you're using it daily. Measuring once in a while can keep portions honest because peanut butter on a spoon has a mysterious ability to multiply when nobody's watching. Also, peanut butter is often salted. If you're managing blood pressure, check sodium on the label and choose a lower sodium option when needed. Best pairings. This is where the magic actually happens. Peanut butter shines when it buffers a carb, meaning you pair it with fiber and/or protein, so glucose enters more gradually. Try these: plain Greek yogurt, plus cinnamon, plus 1 TBSP peanut butter, creamy, high protein, and doesn't rely on added sugar for flavor. Apple slices, plus 1 TBS peanut butter, tasty and satisfying. Just watch apple portion if you're sensitive to fruit carbs. Oatmeal upgrades, stir in 1 TBSP, then add chia or ground flax. Keep the oat portion reasonable. Oats are healthy but still count. Whole grain toast, plus thin peanut butter layer. Better than white bread, but still pay attention to the bread type and serving size. Quick quiz. What's usually the worst pairing? A peanut butter plus berries, B peanut butter plus plain yogurt, C peanut butter plus white crackers because it's a snack. If you guessed C, you're right. Peanut butter can't always rescue a refined carb party. Recipe ideas that feel treat-like without turning into a sugar festival. Peanut butter chia pudding, chia seeds, plus unsweetened milk, plus cinnamon, plus 1 TBSP peanut butter, top with a few berries, high fiber. Filling, and dessert vibes without the dessert crash. Sauté-style peanut sauce, dinner mix, peanut butter with lime, garlic, a splash of low-sodium soy sauce, and water. Drizzle over roasted vegetables and chicken. This is how you make vegetables stop complaining. Cocoa peanut overnight oats, portion aware, small serving of oats, plus cocoa powder, plus 1 TBSP peanut butter, plus chia seeds, chocolate taste. Steadier digestion if the portion stays reasonable. The 2-hour pairing test optional, very useful. If you monitor glucose finger stick or CGM and your clinician says it's appropriate, try this on 2 different days. Day 1, 1 TBSP peanut butter with high fiber base, yogurt, berries, chia. Day 2, 1 TBSP peanut butter with a refined carb base, white toast, crackers. Check glucose at 1 hour and 2 hours after eating. Keep the winner, retire the loser. Your meter doesn't lie, unlike that one last spoonful voice. Who should be careful? Peanut allergy, strict avoid, no exceptions. Kidney disease, some people need to monitor minerals like potassium, phosphorus. Ask your care team what applies to you. If you use insulin or blood sugar lowering meds, improving meals can lower glucose more than expected. Don't make big changes without medical guidance, especially if you've had hypoglycemia. Digestive comfort, very large portions can cause bloating or stomach upset. Bottom line, peanut butter is the most realistic option for many households, affordable, satisfying, and easy to pair. Pick an unsweetened jar, measure a tablespoon, and pair it with fiber. That's how peanut butter becomes a steady teammate instead of a sneaky calorie ambush. Bonus tip, the 2-hour pairing test, use this to find your best nut butter combo. All right, here's a simple experiment that turns you from guessing into testing. Because with diabetes, the same food can act differently in different bodies. Your friend eats peanut butter on toast and stays fine. You do it and your glucose throws a party without inviting you. This is the 2-hour pairing test. It's not a diet. It's not a challenge to suffer. It's just a quick way to discover which pairing keeps your blood sugar steadier. Quick safety note, important for educational purposes only. Not medical advice if you use insulin or blood sugar lowering medication. Talk to your doctor before changing your diet because improving meals can lower your numbers. And hypoglycemia is not a joke. Step by step, super simple. 1. Pick one nut butter. Choose unsweetened almond, walnut, or peanut butter. Keep it the same for the test. 2. Use a measured portion. Start with 1 tablespoon, about 16 grams. Yes, measure it. Peanut butter has a special talent for turning 1 spoon into a small shovel. 3. Test 2. Different pairings on 2 different days. Try these 2 setups. Day A, the smart pairing, high fiber plus protein. 1 TBSP nut butter plus plain Greek yogurt, or 1 TBSP nut butter plus berries, or 1 TBSP nut butter plus chia pudding. Day B, the risky pairing, refined carb base. 1 TBSP nut butter plus white toast or crackers. You're not doing day B because it's good. You're doing it to see the difference, like comparing a smooth road versus potholes. 4. Check glucose at the same times. If you use a glucose meter or CGM and it's appropriate for you, check before eating, 1 hour after, 2 hours after 5. Compare the curves, ask 3 questions. 1. Which pairing caused a smaller rise? 2. Which pairing brought you back to a steadier number by 2 hours? 3. Which pairing kept you full longer, fewer cravings later? Your winner, shocks, the pairing you repeat. Your loser, yarks, the pairing you limit or change. Why this tip is powerful? Because nut butter isn't a magic food. It's a speed control tool. Think of it like a seatbelt, helpful, but if you pair it with a donut, you're still driving into traffic. 1-line takeaway for the screen. Nut butter doesn't cancel carbs, pairing decides the spike. Optional upgrade for even better results. To make the comparison fair, test at a similar time of day. Keep the portion the same. Don't do it right after intense exercise. Avoid testing on days you slept. 3 hours sleep can mess with glucose. And conclusion, nut butters can be a smart snack upgrade, but only when you treat them like a tool, not a cure. Choose unsweetened almond, walnut, or peanut butter. Measure 1 tablespoon and pair it with fiber berries, plain Greek yogurt, chia, or oats to slow digestion and help many people see a smoother post-meal curve. If you track glucose, try the 2-hour pairing test and keep the combo that behaves best for your body. Remember, calories add up, and if you have kidney disease or a nut allergy, you'll need extra caution. For educational purposes only, not medical advice. If you use insulin or other blood sugar lowering meds, talk with your clinician before making diet changes, and keep regular A1C checkups if this helped. Type 1 in the comments. Tell us which nut butter you'll try first, and subscribe to Diabetes Health for practical, evidence-based tips each week. Share it with family.